Hey guys, I I'm in a point right now where I have so much to say, but I don't have I don't even know where to start. Like been trying to write a book about my life, and I mean trying, but I started it, which is good. Happy to start, and now I'm at a point where since I started writing a book, I done went through so much changes that I damn near gonna need to write a whole family chapter. I want to start my book from scratch. But then again, it's back to me having so much to say, but no energy to say anything. It's just so much. So much. But in this video, I'm gonna just acknowledge what's going on right now. Currently, I am 24 years old. 24 years thriving. Natural hair, kind of a bad hair day, but you never really have bad hair day when you love your natural hair. That's a lie. But anyway. Okay. I'm 24. I've been living with my dad for almost 3 years now, going on 3 years. My dad, my stepmom, my stepbrothers, my little brother and sister. And I have to communicate the pain and my experience of living in this environment that I'm living now, good and bad. Now, gratitude wise, I love the environment I live in. I live in Long Island, New York, the Hempstead area. I'm very, very, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to be in this area because I'm originally from New Jersey, and just down to the nature, down to the environment altogether. It's a nice change, something that I'm very grateful for. Okay. Another gratitude is living with my family because, I've always had, kind of a broken home. My mom and dad, they argued since I can remember. And, he's been living in Long Island since I was, before I went to the 4th grade. So I moved out here at 21 after, things that happened with my mom, which I'll make a different video for, because if I try to combine all of the trauma from all of my parents into a video, I'll be here for a while. Maybe I could, but we'll see at the end. But it's so beautiful. So okay. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. Okay. Okay. So, living here, in the household with my parents. So my dad, living with my dad brought his challenges. Moving in at 21 and, being an adult woman living with him, it was a different challenge. Because I always talked to my dad. I was always on the phone with my dad when I was in Jersey. I was always talking to him. And even when I look back, like, there are aspects of his character that were consistent despite us being on the phone all the time. But when I was younger, like at a younger, like, there's a lot of things that I kind of trumped up as what life was, like things that, I should just be okay with because it's life, that's just how parents are, it's just how things are, it's just how people are. But the reality is that I couldn't do that anymore. Like, I was put in a place in my life where physically I could not submit to the I could not submit to the wills and opinions that my parents wanted me to have that they had for me, that, like, I couldn't make it important because I was in a place where, like, if I was to continue living my life for other people, I would be dead. I would not be here right now. I would not be here right now talking to you guys. I wouldn't be here making this video because I would be gone. Whether if it was me taking myself out or me stroking out, me having a heart attack at 22, like, I felt these things before I came to Long Island. I felt this before I moved here. It was the reason why I moved here, to save myself. And it did, in its own way. Its own way, it did. But I was still faced with challenges being out here. And I feel like I'm going in like a circle. Like, I'm not even really fucking addressing it. Okay. The fact of the matter is, my parents are emotionally abusive. Down to my extra stepmom. Emotionally, mentally abusive. Now, I said I was just going to focus on the environment I'm living in now because that's really all I have the energy to discuss at the moment. But when it came to living with my dad as an adult, it was a different but the same experience as my mom, because basically they became emotionally dependent on me in different ways, but just in separate environments. So I guess I can combine it a little bit. Like, my mom, she was emotionally dependent on me in a lot of different ways. Like, from 12, 11, 10, like, I remember wiping her tears and hugging her and being there for her on multiple different occasions. And to the point where, I started to get older and I wasn't just there in an emotional support capacity, but, like, I was also holding the house down, as what my older brother would later refer to me as the glue once I left, because things kind of started, I'm not going to say kind of, I'm trying to move away from the passive shit, because let's be real, when I left, shit fell apart. It's real. And that shit hurt me, but I couldn't stay in that environment and allow it to destroy me as I had been doing for my entire life. Honestly, what I experienced living with my mom made it hard. It made it harder when it came to dealing with my dad and my stepmom, because it's like I moved into this environment and now, like, I was being treated in a way like I was a dumb person, like somebody who needed to just be fixed. Like, I didn't come from just being the glue of an environment, And my dad, like, he would start to hover, and like it became too much. Like, too much hovering, too much, are you okay? And then it's oh, let's be emotionally intimate. Let's talk to each other. Let's do that. Let's do this. And he's like pulling energy from me, trying to, but then when it really needs to be taken care of, when I have things that I need to talk about, when I'm actually like, coming to vent, I'm getting stormed out on, like it's things that I'm not even able to communicate. Like the first summer in 2023 when I moved to Long Island, like I was so overwhelmed because I only have the basement space, like, and I don't have that because I share that, like that's the smoking area, like one laundry area, etc. And then the bedroom. In the bedroom, I currently share my a room with my 12-year-old little sister. I don't like when it comes to space. This parking lot, this is the closest to space and solitude that I've got the past 3 years. And it's difficult with my dad because I feel like, it's like too difficult for him to understand that. Like there's some things like human essentials and necessities and ways of living that shouldn't be too hard to understand. Like needing to wake up and start your morning without having to jump into the orbit of somebody else, or ending your day without doing that. And then it's like, but then when I would set boundaries and tell him what I need as an adult woman, then it's like now I gotta receive attitude and projections from what I meant. Even if I give it I can communicate in the most softest way ever, and it'll still be taken as something like negative that I did to someone. And that started to hurt me because, I'm talking to my dad more than anybody else that I talk to in this world. The same way I was when I was in Jersey, we're still together, we're smoking together, we're talking and vibing and, like being cool. So, if you think, okay, I can be cool and close with my parent, you want to think that. And then you realize, like, one day, okay, like, damn, like, this person, my parent, has really, like, repeatedly hurt me on multiple occasions. Like, has repeatedly made me feel like I was crazy, like, I was bugging. Even when it came to things with my stepmom. Like, my stepmom, I appreciate her because she holds the house down. She supports the household. She takes care. She buys food. She buys laundry detergent. She takes care of the things that goes on in the household. So I appreciate her for that. But all of her actions doesn't negate the times in which I came to her just to bond with her, just to say hi, just to say how she was doing. And I was ignored. Like, times when I'm saying hi, like, really, like, starting off baby steps, just starting off with greetings. And I wasn't even getting that. Well, I would ask her how she was doing. She wouldn't respond. And then it started to become physical. Now, like, instead of ignoring me, now she's like manipulating things that she know that I use consistently. You know what I'm saying? Or like she'll see me use a grocery item for something that I like. I like to cook, I like to create, and she'll see me use a grocery item, and then like she wouldn't get it for months. Like, the rule in this household, like, if you need anything, you just write it on the grocery list and it'll be got. The first time I wrote something on the list, it was mayo. Something that everybody in the house used. It was at the top of the list. I wrote it one time. That was the longest the house went without mayo. Literally, like 2 months the house went without mayo. And everything on that list was checked off and got, except for the mayo that was at the top of the list. And, it's just like small things like that, small methods of control that the financial overseer does in order to make me feel bad, Like, and I can't even speak on what her intentions are for doing said thing, because I'm not her. I'm not her. I'm not him. I'm not my dad. I'm not any of them. But when that happens, and then like I go to my dad to talk about it, and then at one moment he's like understanding of it, and then like a couple days later now he's trying to give me a different story about what happened. It's like, okay, like now I'm being gaslit and invalidated and dismissed, and now that hurts. Like, it's like a combination, but I'm not gonna say but, because I have more to add. And I'm gonna discuss my siblings, because like the siblings who live in the house with me, like, I love them. 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 However, I would be ignorant to say that ways in which, or things that my stepmom could say to them, or ways in which she treats me isn't noticed, Like, for example, with my little sister. My little sister is somebody who's going to be the most impressionable when it comes to women. She's going to pay attention to how her mom interacts with me. And if her mom isn't interacting with me in, like a kind way, or if her mom doesn't feel entitled to speak, or even things that her mom could talk about me when I'm not around, like those things influence the nature of the environment. So now, even like in a space where I'm sharing my room and my space, or my little sister is sharing her room and her space with me, regardless, like now it can become like different. Like, I'll just give you an example of like consideration levels. Like when I first started sharing a room with my little sister, she was like very considerate. Like, and she's still a considerate person, but like there's a lot of ways in which, in her growing up and being a teenager too, but like when it even okay, let's keep it simple. Something as simple as compliments, right? Like, you give a person a compliment, okay, you're beautiful. Okay, that's who I am. I'm the girl's girl that outgas everybody in there. Everybody in there gets gassed. But it's hard because then, like, people will see my light shining and just feel intimidated and not gas me. Like, damn, I need love. And it's like, bro. I hope y'all get where I'm going. Like, I hope I didn't just say like and because I really be losing my fucking flow sometimes. But I just needed to vent. Like, I needed to talk because I don't have a lot of people to talk to. And a lot of things that I'm working on, even somatic healing and therapy and, learning how to move out of fight or flight into a more like natural homeostatic baseline, and things like that I'm working on. Like, the parental figures and elders that I have around me aren't working on those same things. And a lot of times, like, people try to understand me from their grasp and their level of understanding. But, like, the more you try to get me, the less you'll really get me. Like, because that's how simple it is. And when you have an environment, when you are in an environment where, like, the adults and people around you don't really like to communicate, aren't really like, don't really feel comfortable with communicating, it can make it harder for you to get the things off your chest that you need to get off your chest, the pain off your chest that you need to get off your chest. Because from somatic healing, therapy, like things that I'm doing myself, because I don't have insurance, so I've been locking in to heal myself, heal my body, like my hips, trauma, pain. Like, when I tell you, I'm really hurt for real. Like, I've done so much. Like, the strength that I have embodied in my life. I'm talking like back going out, body crooked, and rehabilitating myself. That's what I did. Okay? That's me. A rehabilitator. And not only did I rehabilitate, but rehabilitating, it brought me closer into my body. So now I'm not just stronger, I'm more in tune. You get me? That's what I did. That's my 2025, 2024, the years that I've been out here, as my flex. And I'm very proud of myself for that. It just hurts for real that, like, I have witnesses, but then I really don't have witnesses, because I only have adults who, projected their viewpoint of my journey. So, like, even my dad, like, he could come and talk to me or mention things or, like, have, like, comments about who I am in my journey or times in my life. But then when he says those comments, it lets me know that he really doesn't even understand. Like, I cried in his arms one time when I got heartbroken. And when I tell you, like, for me, it was a crash out, because I have a lot of control over my emotions. So if I'm at a point where I'm uncontrollably crying, I'm losing my shit. And I lost my shit in his arms. First of all, when he saw me crying like that, I already saw the attitude he got. It was, what's the matter? I already saw that. So I was like, I'm not even going to talk. But then I still decided to be open and vulnerable. And I ended up crying more again. And then, oh my God, look at that bird. Oh my God, I don't even think I can show you. But yeah, I started crying uncontrollably. And this is my thing. Anybody who knows me will really know me, but know, okay, like, she don't really cry for real. So if she's crying, then something is wrong. But when I brought up that moment again and mentioned the fact that I was crashing out and it was a hard moment, like, he minimized it to just, I just thought you were crying. What? Are you serious? When do I ever just cry in your face? So, like, things like that, like, it really be difficult, because that's my dad. That's the biological parent that I live with, who's supposed to understand. But he doesn't get it. So my stepmom, she will never truly get it. She will never truly understand. Ever. Because, like, she doesn't even try to have the conversation with me to ever try to get it. She doesn't even try to say hi to me. She doesn't even look at me. There's times she doesn't even look my way. She don't even turn around to acknowledge my existence. If a person isn't even willing to turn around and acknowledge your existence, it shows the level in which they don't care. And it's, we could say, okay, she's a stepmom, so, she's not really, but like at the end of the day, she is a mother figure. She's someone who's been in my life since I was in the 3rd grade. So to be treated like that, it broke my heart, because it was just another maternal figure that I had to learn didn't fuck with me. Another maternal figure who, wouldn't get it. So, when I talk to my dad and I open up about these topics to him and talk to him and share with him, and, and then there's still moments in which, like, I tell him that, let me get my day started, and then now he's like, oh, well, how am I supposed to know your day? You didn't start your day already. Like, it's like, damn, like, you saw me just come downstairs the first time today. Like, so it just be like, yo, like, do people really care? Like, is there really caring? Because the pain I be feeling is like, damn, like, I'm sorry. Pain is paining right now, but it's like, damn, like, am I gonna be understood? I had to come to a realization, I had to accept that just because I envision something, or, the ideals that I have, they're not gonna necessarily, like, be true when it comes to my parental figures. And that hurts. It hurts that, like, I don't have a parental figure who, like, I really, really feel ultimately safe with, but I don't. And, I have 3 parental figures and 3, good people. I don't want to, like, when they go out into their world, into their people, it's decent people, which also makes it hard for me to even, like, root for my story, because how can you open up and speak up for yourself when every action that was done against you are actions to where you can't, there's no proof. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no physical proof. Like, all you have is subliminal actions that were done, but, like, no communication of it, no, so it just mind fucks you, and it makes you feel like you're fucking, like you're crazy, like, am I bugging? The whole time you're not bugging. You're just living in a household with mentally ill people. And, we got to pray for them. We got to pray for people who are so insecure, who are so wrapped up in their pride and ego that they can't even distinguish or discern when and when not. Like, it's like there's no care. Even if you are their child, they want you at a place so that they don't ever have to feel insecure, so they don't ever have to feel triggered. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, like, 29 minutes and 47 seconds. I'm happy. happy. I'm happy I was able to talk to you guys, like, and even just get it out. You know, I'm thinking about posting this to YouTube. This will be my first YouTube video. I'm not mad at it. I've been thinking about, like, sharing to YouTube for a while and just, you know, put my face out, just talking, you know. So I got a lot of good shit to say. I got a lot of good things to say. It's just a matter of, like, the bravery, you know? Like, it takes a lot of bravery to get up, stand up, and, like, share your story. Stand up for yourself. No matter who will see it, no matter who won't see it, no matter who agrees, no matter who won't agree, you know? Like, it takes a lot of strength to do that for yourself. And today, 4/20/2026, I decided, hey, I got this stuff on my chest, and I don't feel like talking to my parents will change anything. So, at the risk of backlash or whatever, I'm sharing my story. I'm sharing my experience, as much as I can of it. There's more to come, because trust me, if you think this 31 minutes and 45 seconds was long, but I appreciate you guys for listening to me, tuning in. If you watch this whole video, I love you. Comment anything that you can relate to. Any, you know, stories that you guys have, any experience that you guys have. Let me know. Let me know what's up.